will be better. There we go. Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Tonight is the first episode of Normally Awesome. And we're going to wait here just for a few minutes because this is actually broadcasting from my page. My name is Angie instead of my personal Facebook profile, which is where I typically do live videos. And so I think probably we're going to lose some people in the transition who might typically watch this. And instead we'll have to pick them up over the next few weeks. So Nila and I are both kind of sick today. Actually, you can see got a swollen gland here and up here, another one over here, and we just have not been able to kick this cold that we have. I don't actually even think it's a cold. I think it's allergies. So for Normally Awesome, we have guests scheduled for every week the rest of the summer. People were really encouraging and signed up right away. But I don't know if it was scheduling or what it was, but no one wanted to go first. No one wanted to be the very first person on the show, which kind of works out since I'm a little bit sick in the first place. My mom said she's sick too, which kind of works out since I'm a little bit sick. It wouldn't have maybe made the best interview today. So instead, I've brought on Nila to talk with us about parents and what she thinks makes a normally awesome parent and what makes a parent not so normally awesome. So I'm going to ask her questions, and you guys can feel free to drop some questions in too. And she will just be our little guest tonight. The video is sideways. I'll turn my screen sideways and see what happens. Does that work better for you? Did that fix it? By chance?
I can talk while I read.
I think something has changed, Emmy, because the first few times I did these, is that better? Oh, huh. So the first few times I did these, if I kept the screen sideways, if I started the Facebook Live sideways, then it broadcasted sideways, which was good. So I'll have to do some checking on this as we go along and make sure that we get it right, because I think something's changed. So, all right. So here's Nila,
Hi.
and I'm just going to ask her a few questions. So Nila, my question for you is, what do you think makes an awesome parent? And it does. Now I know that you have to kind of think about this in terms of mom and dad, but you know other parents too, right?
Yeah.
And so you can think about it in terms of a bunch of different parents that you know. So, or even how you think parents should be. So, what do you think makes an awesome parent?
So probably they would make really good food.
They make really good food. Okay, so just being honest, mom and dad in this family do make really good food. I was going to say that we don't, but look at that. I guess we do.
Just talking about food is making me hungry. Yeah.
What is your favorite thing that your parents make? And it might be like steak. That's me too. That's
with
my
ranch. Perfect. A lot of ranch too.
A lot of ranch. So, it's not uncommon to hear kids say that their favorite part of the day is getting to sit down to a meal with their parents. Whether that's breakfast, lunch, or dinner. And many families, I know most of the people watching, please, that tickles, she's tickling my feet. Many of the families watching, I know that you probably do get to sit down with your kids and eat a meal or a couple meals a day, but a lot of families don't anymore. They don't sit down and have a meal with their kids, whether it's at home or even out together. They don't make that time to do that. So what other foods do you love?
Smoothies.
What?
Smoothies.
Smoothies. You really like smoothies? Since Nyla's been little, really, we have videos of her when she was probably like 2 years old, drinking smoothies that have like spinach and strawberries and yogurt and celery and carrots and stuff in them, and she was just like, yum, this is delicious. So that's I know most of the parents watching know that that's an easy way to sneak some vegetables in, but now it's not. We don't have to sneak it. Now she's pretty adventurous with smoothies. She'll drink pretty much anything that we give to her. It's a lot of times for breakfast. What's your favorite breakfast smoothie? Do you have one?
No, probably something with banana and mango.
Oh yeah. So we also sometimes will make. You can take a banana, maybe even 2 bananas. Usually 1 is enough. Banana, yogurt, just plain vanilla yogurt, or even just plain yogurt, and oatmeal and peanut butter. And you actually put all of that together, the oatmeal included, into the blender, and it turns out a really nice thick smoothie. And then you can take just a little bit of chocolate and drizzle it into the smoothie, and it turns into kind of like this Reese peanut butter cup smoothie, which is pretty tasty in the morning. Yeah, it is harder. My mom says that it's harder to have meals together when they're teenagers. And Mom, I think, are you saying that probably because 1, they're out with their friends and they want to be out with their friends, and 2, because a lot of times teenagers have after school activities that might preclude them from being home around dinner time. So I can see that's how it was in our house anyway, growing up. So I could see that. Is there anything else that you want to say about like food and how important that is to being kind of an awesome parent? No. What else sticks out to you about the awesome parents that you know? So that's it? Just like if Mom woke up in the morning and just made awesome food all day long, that would be like the most awesome thing that we could do. What else? What else makes you think, wow, that was a really good day today with my parents?
Spend a lot of time together.
Spending time together?
Yeah.
Now, are you just... She's just saying that. I know it. No, I'm kidding. Are you just saying that to make Mom and Dad look good? No, it's true. It's true. You know, and... So Nyla knows that I have this sort of challenge. You know, I do like working for myself, and where you go? You're gonna read a book?
Gonna read a book.
She's gonna read a book while we do this.
While you do that, you ask me a question and I answer it.
Okay. I do like working for myself. Those of you who know me know that generally speaking, most of the time since she's been alive, I've worked for myself. But recently, I work for a software company. But either way, whether I was working for myself or working for the software company, I really try to keep a lot of flexibility in my schedule so that I can spend a lot of time with Nyla. And that's good and bad, and I understand not every family can make that choice, and honestly, because I make that choice, probably we don't have as much money as we would if I were working full-time. But notice she didn't say, like, money makes the world go round. She said, I like it when my parents cook good food and spend time with me. So, look at that. Nyla, what does Mom and Dad do that makes us not so awesome?
Oh, I have one.
Oh, look. When I ask her for awesome stuff, she's like, I have 2 things. Make me some steak and spend some time with me. Not so awesome, she's like, wait, I wrote a list down.
One of them was clean your room, clean your room, clean your room, clean your... You do that?
I do that, yeah. Because her room is crazy, that's why. What else? And it doesn't even have to be Mom and Dad. Like, it might be a parent that you've seen that has done something and you're like, that's not the greatest.
Like when your kid does something wrong and you scold them instead of like praising them for doing the right thing after.
Wait, are you talking about kids or the dog?
Both.
So, if a parent sees a kid doing something wrong, what should they do? What does a kid want them to do? Like, what would be the right way to deal with that?
Like, tell them the consequences and tell them what would be better than doing that.
Tell them the consequences? And what would be better than doing that?
Yeah.
So I love that she said that. And I feel like she's getting old enough now to where I can probably have her read the book that we based a lot of our younger parenting on. And I know she's only 9, so those of you who have raised teenagers, you're like, everything's going to change when she's a teenager. I'm sure that you're saying that right now. But, so I had the children's pastor at the church where I worked in South Carolina. Her name was Debbie Simmons. She was a really amazing children's pastor, and then went on to adopt a bunch of kids. Like, I think at this point 7 or 8 kids that she's adopted. Maybe even 9 kids that she's adopted at this point. And I remember when she got the first 5, they were all brothers and sisters. She adopted them all at once. And she at that time introduced me to a book called Love and Logic. Because it was kind of how she was going to base her parenting for these kids. And if you've never read Love and Logic, the basic premise is that you should obviously love your children, and then you should help them to make logical decisions in their own lives that lead them to making good choices. And so, for example, a little kid that doesn't want to put his shoes on, the choices might be, do you want to put your shoes on here on the couch, or do you want to put your shoes on over by the stairs, or do you, which pair of shoes do you want to put on? But every choice that you give the child, they're all generally fine choices. They could choose any of them, but you're giving the choices to them, the power to the kid to make their own decision. And sometimes they don't make good decisions. Sometimes they make bad decisions. Sometimes they might make a decision to write on a wall or something like that, or to destroy something. And once the kid has made that bad decision, then you have to give them choices about how to deal with the consequences for that. And so the response might be something like, well, that's really sad that you destroyed your toy. Would you like to know what some other kids have done who were in your same position? Because obviously you can't just have your kids destroying toys all the time. So the choices might be, well, they sold some of their existing toys in order to pay you back for the toy they broke, or they did some extra chores around the house to pay you back for it, or they earned some money in the neighborhood or something like that. So a few years ago, do you remember your skateboard, Nyla? Is any of this sounding familiar? I don't know if some of this stuff sounds familiar. So a few years ago, we bought Nyla a very nice skateboard, maybe even a little bit too nice for how old she was at the time, but it was nice and she really wanted it and was very interested in skateboarding at the time. So we bought her a skateboard, and then months and months later, she left it outside.
I swear bringing it in. Like, I don't know how I lost it. Oh.
So she doesn't remember how she lost it, but she left it outside and it got stolen. And Mom and Dad were a little bit upset because, like I said, it was an investment. It was not a cheap skateboard. So, instead of for the skateboard, we just let it go, right? Like, I think she had to do some extra chores or something around the house, but it built on to this thing that happened next. So the thing that happened next was that a few days later, she left her bicycle outside, and she left it kind of at the end of our street. Do you remember this? You might not even remember it. It was years ago at this point. So she left her bicycle outside, and she left it kind of down at the end of the street. And I saw it, and it had been there. I don't even know how it didn't get stolen, honestly. It had been there for at least a day or day and a half, just sitting down by this neighbor's house. And I thought, I can't believe her bike is down there. I didn't even notice it for a day and a half. But it didn't get stolen. It was still there. So I grabbed it and brought it inside. And I told her, I said, Nyla, just like your skateboard, you left it outside. Your bike was left outside too. And it could have gotten stolen, but it didn't. And she was excited. She was like, yay, I'm so glad that it's here and it didn't get stolen. I said, but that's not the end of it. I said, so because you left it out, you have to buy it back from Mom and Dad. I said, here's how much it costs to go buy a brand new bike. Like, if this had been stolen, it would cost about $100 to go buy a new bike from any store. So you have to earn back $50 of that $100. I said the bike didn't get stolen, so we don't have to buy a brand new one. But I want to show you that, things cost money, and rather than just punishing her and just saying, oh, you don't get to ride your bike for X amount of days, which I think she didn't get to ride it for a week or something like that. But in addition, she had to earn the money to buy back her bicycle. And I think it might have even been, I don't want to say embarrassing, but she had friends come over and they were like, hey, can we ride your bike? And she had to say, no, I can't ride my bike right now because I have to buy it back from my parents. So those sort of just logical consequences, like she just said. I mean, she might not have even known that hey, Bob. Bob, I decided to have Nila on as my guest today since I'm a little bit sick and no one was brave enough to go for the first show. So you can come up and join us if you want to. So she, kids might not be able, they might not know necessarily that you're parenting by the book or that sort of thing, or parenting with a certain style, but they know what works for them. And so what she just said was, when you see me do something wrong, tell me the consequences. Tell me the consequences and tell me what, help me figure out what would have been a better decision along the way. And for me, I think that book, Love and Logic, it was just crucial to us being able to raise what we like to think is a fairly well-balanced, happy child. Is that true, Nila?
I mean, I think I'm pretty happy.
Hey, Nick. Hi, Jason. I saw you came on, too. Jason Tucker's going to be a guest in a few weeks. Jason, what I said earlier was that I have a sort of a bad cold, and though we have guests scheduled for this show all the way through August now, no one was brave enough to go the very first week. So instead I'm having Nila on to talk about what makes a parent awesome and what makes them just kind of, sometimes not so awesome. So Nila, there are quite a few parents watching now. So I have a question for you. What, if as a kid, what do you want parents to know that makes their kids really happy?
Words of wisdom.
Words of wisdom. I swear to God, if you say fidget spinner,
No,
I'm going to kick you off the bed.
No, that's not what I'm going to say.
Okay.
Okay, I'm not going to say it because it's a Hamilton reference.
Do it. Say it.
I've said it too much this week.
No, say it. You weren't home to say it. These people didn't hear you say it, so.
Can anybody guess what I'm going to say?
No.
Okay. Talk less, smile more.
Oh my. We're gonna have to cut this short. That was beautiful. So my question was, what do kids want parents to know that makes them happy? And what did you say?
Talk less, smile more.
That's just great, isn't it? Talk less, smile more.
What you're working, store, what you're for. You're gonna be serious.
That's Aaron Burr.
Head. Yes.
Dad says that's Aaron Burr.
Run the mouths off, wind up.
Nila just
dead.
threw and have fun sometimes. No. Nope. We do not have fun. I'm kidding. Nila, what are some of the fun things that you're hoping to do this summer? Like either kind of big fun things or little fun things?
That whole list.
Well, tell them.
Of 101 things.
So I went on, you guys, I look to Pinterest sometimes for ideas for things for us to do. So I found this an actually great list. Sometimes you see lists on Pinterest of things to do during summer, and they're ridiculous. They're like, build a shed in the backyard out of toothpicks, and it's just stupid, or knit, knit a tree or something like that. But this list was real stuff. It was stuff that we could hang this list up in our house, and if Nila is bored, she could go over and look at it, and she could do those things really without a lot of involvement from me even, right? Yes? No?
Yes.
So anyway, so this list is 100 things, not 101.
Yes, it's 101.
It's 100.
It's 101.
Okay, fine, whatever.
It literally says 101.
It's 100.
No,
I will share the link.
It's not. I'm getting it.
She's
right
gonna
now.
go get it. But anyway, so we found this list of 100 things to do during the
101.
summer when you're bored, and we're just gonna post it up on a wall in our house, and when she's bored, she can go over and look at it this summer. What we try to do, I don't know how you plan your summer schedules for those of you who are home with your kids during the summer, but I have at least 4 hours of work that I have to do most days. I mean, I do have 4 hours of work that I have to do during the day for the software company that I work for. The list itself is 101. Well, you know what, Nick? I thought maybe that she was counting the little, like the footer that says, visit this website for more ideas. I thought maybe she was counting that, but I swear it's 100. So, anyway, I might be wrong. If I'm wrong, I'm going to feel really goofy, but... So our schedule generally is that we are up in the morning, we have breakfast together, or we might not be is it 101?
It's 101.
Oh my
Look
gosh,
at
you
it.
guys, look.
Look.
Oh yeah, look.
It's 101.
101.
Backwards. But
All right, it's 101.
it's 101 because
Okay.
she does not count the one that said make and play with oobleck, which oobleck is amazing.
So we generally we take Bob to work in the morning, and then when we come home, that's when I typically do my 4 hours of work is in the morning, and so she has to entertain herself in the morning. She's an only kid, so she has to entertain herself in the morning until lunchtime, and then after lunchtime we go and we try to do something fun, whether that's swimming or going to a park or just doing something outside of the house. That's kind of how our days go. But during those 4 hours, you know, she's responsible for finding her own fun. And this summer, the challenge will be that she has become a little bit, now I don't want to say addicted, but she's become, no, you have not become techie-ish. You've become addicted to Animal Jam. She's become addicted to Animal Jam and Roblox. And, I would be very happy to just sit for 4 hours and play these 2 video games, or to watch YouTubers playing those video games, if you're familiar with that genre of video on YouTube. And I don't want that. I still want her to be able to only have about an hour, maybe an hour and a half, which is really a lot, actually, an hour and a half of screen time during the day. So this list is part of what's going to keep her from doing just playing video games during the day. So, Nila, tell us what's something that kids wish parents knew about kids.
I have something that my music teacher taught us. Girls are crazy, boys are stupid.
Well, what do you think? Like, what's something that you think parents should know about kids?
What I just said.
So girls are crazy and boys are stupid?
Yes.
All right, I'm down with that. What's something that most parents think about kids that's not true? Or that you think parents or adults think about kids but is not true? It's a hard question, right? Wait, okay, so back to the stuff that you want to do during summer. What else do you want to do during summer? Besides the list. She must have really liked this list. I didn't realize she was going to like it quite so much, but it's actually really good. It's got a lot of really cool stuff in it. So
hunt for bugs, use water to paint the house, sidewalk, patio.
wait, don't read all 101 of those.
Why not?
Because we can just post a link to that.
You're right, we are little monsters.
Nick, she said you're right. They are little monsters. That's funny. What, Nila, in your week this week, so when we have parents on the show, Nila, we're going to ask them a couple of questions. Every parent that comes on the show, we're going to ask them a couple of questions. And two of the questions. One is going to be, when is a time this week as a parent that you were awesome? So I know that you were away at camp this week for a couple days, but
for 2 days.
For 2 days.
3 days and 2 nights.
Yeah, so, but besides that, when was a time this week or recently that you can think of when mom or dad was awesome?
Clean my room.
I cleaned her room.
When I got back.
Yeah, I didn't finish it all the way, but I was trying to give her a gift of a clean room to start the summer. So I did a lot of it, but not all of it. And when is a time that mom and dad were not awesome? Because that's part of what we're talking about on this little show too, is parents are awesome normally, but not always.
Oh, and I had to get the tick out of my hair. That was not so fun.
Tell them what happened. If you can talk about it.
I had to get the tick out of my hair.
Wait, like you?
It was like right here.
What was right there? Tell them.
Tick.
So when she got
camp.
Yeah, when she got back from camp this week, they had counselors at camp, other parents, and then actually staff at camp too. And I absolutely believe that they checked the kids for ticks. They said they did, and I totally believe that they did. But it's a lot of kids and a lot of hair and a lot of bodies. And so when she came home, I had her take a shower, of course, and afterward, I looked through her hair and body really closely for ticks.
It didn't drown.
Yeah, no, ticks can. So, and she had a tick in her hair. And I'll be really honest, when I first saw it, I was looking through her hair really, really carefully. And when I first saw it, I was like, oh my God. I started to freak out myself because it was totally attached and feeding on her head. And then I realized, like, if I freak out, she's going to freak out, so don't freak out. So I just said, okay, stay right there for just a minute. And I went and I ran to my computer real quick and looked for what's the best way to remove a tick, and realized that it's really just using really sharp tweezers and kind of twisting it out. So that's what I did. I came back, and at that point, she was kind of like starting to get a little teary-eyed. But she held it together really well, and we got it cleaned up, and I went and I did a little more research to find out what kind of tick it was, and it's not the kind of tick that carries Lyme disease, so that's great.
Yay! I will not be vomiting all over the place. That's great!
And the tick is now resting in the freezer in a bag wrapped in paper towels in case we need it for identification sometime in the future. But I've never seen a live tick attached to anything, and it was really gross. So, is there anything else that you want to say about that? But that wasn't me being not awesome, was it? Or that was the tick.
It was a tick.
So when was the time that mom or dad this week was like, we were less than awesome? Dang. Y'all, we are just perfect. That's not true, but I can think of something that we've done that I realize that I'm doing lately that Nila does not enjoy. We have a new puppy. I can even remember the moment I did this week. I don't know if you'll remember this, Nila, or not, but listen while I tell you, and maybe you will. So we have this new puppy, and Nila's still just a little bit scared of it because he's pretty rambunctious. He's about 32 pounds right now, and he's only 4 months old, so that's a pretty hefty puppy. And
that's the longest we've ever owned a puppy.
It is the longest we've ever.
Or a dog.
Yeah. So so this dog likes to, of course, like most puppies, likes to follow you around and sometimes nip at your heels and things like that. And, one of the best things that you can do with that is not to, look down at the puppy while you're walking. Keep your head up, kind of ignore the puppy. But that's really hard, right? For a kid, that's really hard to do that because they just want to see what the puppy's doing. They want to make sure the puppy's not about to bite them and this sort of thing. So when Charlie, the dog, is following Nila, a lot of times she's kind of, really timidly walking, looking down at Charlie as she's walking, and it drives me bonkers. I just want to say, put your head up. Well, I do say it, don't I? I'm like, put your head up, walk quickly to wherever you're going. Just ignore him. You know, the more timid you are, he kind of feeds off of that energy. And so I remember one day last week, she was walking and she was looking down at him, and I literally like walked over and I grabbed her head and I was like, stop looking down at him. And I pulled her head up and see that face she just gave just now. And then I realized that was really lame. Like, I didn't need to go grab her head and yank her head up to keep her from looking at him. So it's just little things like that. No, Nick. My mom did not have TVs when she was little. Right, Mom? They didn't have TV. I'm kidding. She probably did. I don't know, but it might have been like black and white. I'm kidding. So, hey, Anne, I just to catch you up, I've got a little bit of a cold. Nyla's got a little bit of a cold. And though we have guests booked for through the summer, we have every week booked through the summer with guests, no one wanted to go first. And so I decided that since I'm a little bit sick and maybe wouldn't have had the best interview tonight, that we would have Nyla on to talk about what makes a parent awesome, and not so awesome. So, Nyla, what other, do you have anything else that you want to say to the parents that are watching? Parents that are watching, do you have any questions for Nyla about parenting, or your kids? You don't ask her specifically about your own kid if she happens to know your kids. Thanks, Anne. But do you have any specific questions for her about, maybe something's happening with your kid and you want to get the perspective of another kid? Sometimes you ask a kid what you should do, and they may have a unique perspective about a situation and maybe think of it from an angle that you wouldn't have considered. My mom says awesome parents read to their kids. Yep,
Dad,
that's true.
Be quiet. I'm still awake because I can be awake.
Dang. How do you get kids to clean? When you figure that out, you let me know. You see this bedroom? See that big old bag over there? Hold on, where is it?
Right there.
I don't know if you guys can see it or not. So you see that big old bag right there? That almost everything over there is trash, ready to throw out. And part of it is that I think I feel this way more and more as Nyla gets older. But I think part of it is just giving them less stuff. And I don't feel like we bought Nyla a ton of toys, but she did accumulate a lot of toys from a lot of different sources. And I think it can just be overwhelming for kids to manage all of that stuff. And so paring down what you give them in the first place helps. And I think also giving them a system for cleaning. So this is something I'm trying to work on with Nyla. It's not, I will say that we haven't worked the system strong enough to really do this well. But like, instead of just sending your kids up to their room and saying clean your room, giving them a system for how they're going to clean their room. So the first thing they do is literally just take everything off of the floor.
I don't do that.
I know you don't do it. And put it on their bed. So that at least the floor is clean at that point. And then from there, they can begin taking the things off of their bed and putting them away. So they go next to clothing. So they put clean clothing away and dirty clothing away. Then they go to toys and they put the toys away. And then after that, then they can go to trash and put the trash away. But the thing is, when it's all scattered around the room, a lot of times that's overwhelming for kids. And they don't know where to start when they come in. As an adult, when you come in, you might just naturally break it up like that. You might naturally start looking around the room first, grab all the trash, then put the clothes away, and that sort of thing. So, yes, Mom, yes, kids sometimes shove everything under the bed, or they shove everything under the couch like I did when I was little. So, having a system like that helps prevent that in the first place. Are you going to look under the bed? Are you okay? She needs to go to bed, you guys. I think so. So that's how you get kids to clean. And then I always did 3 piles: clothes, toys, and trash. Yeah, basically, yeah, that same piles though. And I think too, I think you have to also just be okay with not perfection, like not coming in and correcting them after they clean. Sometimes when Nyla cleans her room, she has creative ways of organizing that I wouldn't have thought of. But for her, it's organized. It's
like I put the Legos that are up on the floor, I put them into a scene. And I put it on my dresser.
Right. So while she's cleaning, she might get all the Legos off the floor, but she does something with them and then puts it up on her dresser. And for her, it's clean, it's neat. It's not just laying around everywhere. Sometimes in her closet, she again will also, like the last time she cleaned her closet, I think you did this. I don't think Dad did this, but she had a bunch of hangers that she can't exactly reach the top part of her closet where you actually hang the clothing. She might be able to now. I don't know if you can. Can you reach it now? But for a while she couldn't reach it, so it was kind of hard to put empty hangers back up where they go. And so I noticed the last time that she cleaned her closet, now she has like a rope. I think that she's put her...
2 belts.
She took 2... Tell them what you did. I don't need to tell them.
Okay, so... Hold the phone. So I got 2 belts and I tied them together. And they were tied on one hanger, I think. And then I just started hanging all my hangers on a little loop that I had on the bottom, and it's like filled up. I can show you guys.
Yeah. Well, you could if your closet wasn't crazy.
It's not that crazy.
Do you want to show them?
Yes.
Will you go straight there and straight back?
Yes.
Okay. Hurry.
Let there be light. Yeah, so this thing. Hold on. This thing. That's what I did. Part of it was from like a necklace set, but that's my big thing of hangers. I can still reach up there, but not anymore. I'm gonna videotape you videotaping with this camera.
So I think that
the SD card that the SD card that doesn't have. So I'm using the internal memory, and it's annoying.
So I think that as far as cleaning, and the same is true when I ask her to like do the dishes or clean the bathroom or something like that. Like every once in a while she'll offer just to clean the bathrooms, and she might grab the wrong cleaner for the mirrors. So she might use like the all-purpose like bleach cleaner, or I can't even remember what it's called, the Lysol bleach cleaner for the mirrors, which leaves the mirrors a little streaky. Is that something that needs to be corrected? Yeah, I mean, she needs to know to grab the Windex or the vinegar to clean the mirrors, but it's not something to get upset about. You know, like she cleaned, she did the thing that she made an effort to do it. She went out of her way to do it. And the same thing with cleaning the dishes. Like if you have the kids hand wash the dishes or load the dishwasher, yes, they need to be taught the right way to do that, to load the dishwasher or to make sure that the dishes get rinsed. But if you ask a kid to do a chore and then you go back and you correct them or tell them how much they did the thing wrong, they're not going to want to do that chore again, right? I mean, like if someone's always saying, no, you didn't do that right. No, do this, do it this way, then they're not going to want to do it again. So, and that doesn't mean that you can't, that there's not a place where they have to learn to do it correctly, but their kids, they need some time and some practice to do those things. So, I guess that's my answer for chores. Do you guys have any other questions for Nyla? And if not, then we may go ahead and just call this particular show a wrap, and know that for every show after this, we have a guest lined up. I think for June and July for sure, and then I think we have August. Peach loves cleaning and organizing, and you're right, their methods are sometimes different, and that's just totally true. And I noticed, I don't know, I feel like there are times when I can, they're just like us a lot, in a lot of ways, There are times when I'd rather clean the bathroom than clean the kitchen, or I'd rather not hardly ever would I rather go do laundry, But there are times when you want to do one chore over another, and sometimes we don't really give kids that choice. We're like, go do this exact chore. When really, maybe if you gave them choices or rotated the chores that they have to do in a given week, then they may want to participate a little bit more. So, Nyla, what makes a great grandparent?
Same thing as parents.
All the same thing as parents. Talk less, smile more. There you go. Maybe we'll get that put up on our wall. Talk less, smile more.
My wall, not your guys' wall.
Your wall. Nyla actually has...
I painted on the mustaches.
How do we show that? Do you see that?
Flip the camera.
Oh, that's true. So Nyla has mustaches on her wall. Little tiny mustaches. Yeah. Amanda Jo says, we're still at the age where Lucy loves helping clean. You know, it's funny, Amanda, I think it actually, I don't know this for sure, because obviously I don't have a middle schooler, but I do know some old middle schoolers, if you know what I mean. I think it goes in cycles. So Nyla, when she was very little, she really loved to clean, and she went through a few years where she didn't really like it, and I think she's starting to come around to it again. She might say no, but there are those days where she just spontaneously cleans a room of the house, or she spontaneously says, hey, I'd really like to do the dishes right now. Could I go do the dishes? Or cleans the bathroom, or cleans up her room.
Yeah, for like a week. I arranged Mom's makeup and cleaned the bathroom.
Yeah.
For like 2 days of the week when I got really crazy.
Yeah. I don't know what it is, but she doesn't use my makeup when she's rearranging it. She just likes to get it organized and a little neater, so.
Because it is crazy.
Crazy. Oh, your eyeballs look crazy when you do that. Do that again. Oh, it's creepy. Grandma Mo says that she can't talk less. It's not possible.
Yes, you can.
Yeah, she
if
can,
I can
can't
do it,
she?
You can do it.
Yes, she can. Very good. All right. Well, you guys, I think that I want to say thanks to everyone who came on tonight. Do you pay her to do chores?
Someone I know does. Grandma.
Grandma Tammy pays to do chores.
Sometimes.
We don't, at this point, no. So here are the things here's what we think. She's a part of this household, and people in this household do chores. That's just how it is. Like, we're a team. We take care of this house together. And so, increasingly, she's getting more chores. Now, I'll be really honest and say that I know a lot of kids her age who do a lot more chores than she does.
I want to hold it.
Okay. I know a lot of kids her age who do a lot more chores than she does.
Yes, I do.
Who maybe have like a schedule of chores they have to do, or every day after dinner they have to do the dishes and that sort of thing. And we really don't, honestly, we just don't have her incorporated into a schedule of chores like that. So at this point, it's a little more random, the chores that she does. But even with that, we still would not pay her for those chores because she's a part of this house. So she's an employee of this house just like we are, and no one pays us to take care of the house, so she doesn't get paid to do it. Now, there are times, though, there are times where if I need particular help doing a chore that's kind of over and above normal house maintenance, that I will ask her to help, and I'll say, I'll give you 50 cents or $1 if you help with this chore. Or just things I just don't want to do. Like, a lot of times, actually during summer, this happens, I don't want to say often during summer, but pretty often during summer. I hate cleaning the baseboards. Like, I just hate it. I hate getting down there and going along the whole baseboard and cleaning it. So every once in a while, when her and her friend Maya are over here, I'll say, hey, you guys want to, like, I'll give you $1 if you clean the baseboards in the bathroom, in the living room and dining room. And I'll just give them 2 rags and some vinegar cleaner and let them just go clean the baseboards. And again, that's not something that, I'm doing every single week. Sort of related to this, we do have a schedule of chores. We don't stick to it. Maybe this is the summer that we kind of pull out our fly lady stuff and stick to it more stringently. So Anne says, we don't pay to do chores because because when she's on her own, right, no one will pay her to keep the house in order. But once her responsibilities are done, she can earn money landscaping and stuff. Yeah, that's totally true. And Nick says, oh, you did the dishes? Let's go get ice cream. Yeah, absolutely. No, she doesn't get an allowance either, Mom. yeah, so that's a, it's a sort of...
Oh, she's asking the questions. I'm probably gonna get one.
Nope, she's not either. So, Nick, that's a great point, and it's interesting to me because Nyla pointed that out earlier when she said, tell us what we're doing right, like reinforce what we're doing right instead of telling us what we do wrong. And that's a really good way to do that. When you see a kid doing right, Nyla, like when we see you doing something that we like, I feel like, I know I do, and I think Dad does it too. Like, we go out of our way to say, thank you for doing that. Like, I noticed that you did that thing, or you said that thing to someone. Thank you. And judging by the fact that she said, tell me what I've done right, not what I've done wrong, I feel like I hope that she hears that from us. So, no, she doesn't get an allowance. Nope. I think, she has a little set of books over on her counter, or over on her bookshelf, that were a gift from a friend named Curtis McHale. And they are the Dave Ramsey Jr. books. And so we're kind of a Dave Ramsey family in this house. And I just mean that. I mean kind of.
Is.
No, we're kind of. I'd say that we sort of loosely adhere to his stuff. I'd like this summer to be the summer that we get much more strict about it. But the idea with Dave Ramsey is that with all of your money, whatever money you get, you save 10%, you give 10%, and you, the other 80% you can use for whatever you want. So, but with Nyla, what I've told her is that when she does earn money, I want her to save 10%, to give 10%, and to invest 10%. So the investing for her would be taking that 10% of whatever money that she does get and figuring out how to make it become more money than it was. So whether that's, I'm trying to think of some ways. Oh, lemonade stand we did. I think the last time that we pulled up her money and used that 10% on something for investment, she did a lemonade stand out front. And so I made her figure out, how much are the lemons going to cost for it? How much is the sugar? How much are the cups and all of this? And I think she ended up making total $3 on it, which part of what she learned in that lesson was that food service has really...
Is that you gotta sell tea and sell lemonade at a lemonade stand.
That's right. Tea is a better investment than lemonade, and that food has a very small margin when you're reselling it. Generally speaking, you're not going to make as much money on that investment as you would on some other investments. So, anyway, so that's kind of how we do her money. But no, she doesn't earn money from us. I think Bob would like for her to. Bob would like for her to have a steady allowance. Yeah, your arm's getting tired. All right, guys, we got to go. I got to put her to bed. So, thanks everyone for joining us. Next week we do have a parent guest, and it'll be just a little more formal next week. The camera will be on a nice tripod, so you won't have to watch it moving around the whole time, and we'll have a nice microphone attached too, so the sound will be a little bit better. If you would, please, before this video is over, make sure that you share it and that you like it as well, and that will help me be able to reach more people next week when we go to do the next video. So that's all. If you have questions that you want us to ask the parents on the show week after week, go ahead and drop them in the comments, and I'll make sure that we ask parents those questions. And of course, the questions are going to vary based on the parent that's here. Like, I know one week we're having one of the moms in our neighborhood, Tanya, who has, her children are all, I think, late high school or in college already. And the same thing with Robin. So, they're not all going to be parents of kids Nyla's age. And so you may have questions for parents who have already graduated their kids and are raising grown adults at this point. So anyway, I don't know, Bob. I have to look at the schedule. I'm sorry. Bob wants to know who the parent is next week, but I don't know. I have to look at my calendar. So, all right, guys, thank you. And again, this show is normally awesome. We'll also take this video and post it to YouTube and rip the audio and make a podcast out of it. That will be available on iTunes in about 4 weeks. So we need to get a few sessions up first before we can post it on iTunes. So, I hope that you guys have a great weekend. Again, remember to share it. Please, 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 please share it. Invite your friends to come next week. And Anne says that she has essential oils for us that we can try if we want to. Maybe at this point, because our allergies are not going away, it seems like it. So, all right. Bye, everyone. Have a good night. Say bye, Nyla.
Guys, see ya.